And joining us now, he's in his first year as manager of the New York Mets. A year after that big push, the Mets are contending. They're a half game out of the final wild card spot. Carlos Mendoza joins us now. Carlos, Brian Kenny, and Joel Sherman here. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. How you doing, Joel?
Joel's all right. You see Joel all the time. Me, not so much. But I'm wondering, again, you were a bench coach for the Yankees and you had 6 years on the staff. But becoming the manager, give me the biggest difference. What's the biggest difference of being the guy?
Well, I mean, obviously you're making the final call, in games. But I think just the communication, the conversations with not only the coaches, but the players, I think this is the biggest difference. As a bench coach, you're talking to, a lot of different guys, but as the manager, checking in on, the 26 guys on the roster day in and day out, letting the coaches do the work. And then, obviously you prepare. And as the bench coach, you make suggestions. You're not the one making the final call. Now, I get, all the information and, the suggestion from our coaching staff. And then at the end of the day, I'm making the final call. And I'm the one that have to answer those questions. So that's been the biggest difference, but it's been fun.
Okay. Now, one thing I noticed is that, I do this team by team, but your entire team is hitting, and it's well above league average. Almost everybody. We take a look at, we have the OPS plus of everybody on the squad, and it's like Alvarez is crushing it, Nimmo is crushing it, Mark Vientos is actually at the very top. Nimmo having a great year, and even Pete Alonso not having a great year, he's above league average. Lindor is at a 120 OPS plus. So give me something, Carlos, on what your staff does to maximize hitting performance.
Yeah, well, look, starts with having really good players, especially early in the year when we were struggling offensively, we knew at some point we were going to come out of it because, like I said, we got really good players, but our hitting coaches, they do such a good job staying in the same page with our players, putting together game plans, getting their feedback, asking their opinions, making suggestions, and then the ability to make adjustments once the game starts, because you go in every day with, all right, this is how we're going to attack certain pitches or certain starting pitches, but then, they're making adjustments to us as well. So having that ability to having those conversations in the middle of the game, in the dugout, from at bat to at bat, I think that's been really, really impressive. So credit not only to the players, but our hitting department for doing such a great job there.
Well, see, that's fascinating. I hope people are hearing that. So how fluid is your baseball ops with your coaches, again, in real time during a game?
Oh yeah, it's pretty fluid, and we got two really good hitting coaches on Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes, and they complement each other really well. And then, like I said, we got great hitters, and when they come back, they're talking about how the ball is moving from at bat to at bat. Hey, it's not sinking as well, or it's not, the slider's not breaking, or the changeup, or the fastball doesn't have the life, or the other way is like, hey man, we got to get ready for 95 here because he says 92 there, but he's playing up. So those are some of the teams that guys are talking after each at bats, and they're feeding off each other, and then the hitting coach is making suggestions. So they have a good thing going on, and we're seeing the results right now out on the field.
It was hard to miss on that list, Carlos. The one guy who's not hitting is a former batting champion. It's Jeff McNeil, and you've stuck with him and stuck with him. Why are you sticking with him, and how long does your rope have to be when you have one guy who's not, and you may be able to plug in, say, Iglesias and Marte when he comes back and put McNeil on the bench?
Yeah, Jeff has been a great hitter, and it's been a tough go for him this year, but he continues to battle. He continues to put in the work. And, as for the past couple of weeks, the at-bats have been better. The way he's impacting the baseball, he hasn't got many luck, but this is a hitter, man. And the bat-to-ball skills are there. And, they got to keep going. He's got to keep grinding. And, we're sticking to him because he's a big part of this team moving forward.
Carlos, you have a strength when a lot of teams, especially in that wild card jumble, doesn't, which is your offense. Makes it feel like you're in it. You're only, as BK mentioned, a half game out. It is now through the first week of July. We're less than 3 weeks to the trade deadline. You're a first-year manager. Do you feel the impetus to go to management and say, I think we're good enough, let's go for it?
Yeah, look, and this is something that going into the year, we knew that we had a team that was going to be able to go out there and compete, and that's what we're doing. Obviously got off to a rough start, but guys bounced back, and we put ourselves in a better position. And these are conversations that from day one, talking to David and the front office people, that we're always looking for ways to improve our ball club, and that's no difference now. Obviously, we're getting close to the trade deadline, and our team is in a better position now, and David's always looking for ways to improve, and those are some of the conversations, the dialogues that we're having, the back and forth day in and day out, and I'm pretty confident that David will do what's best for this team, for not only this year, for the future as well.
But I wonder, do you put your thumb on it? Do you say, David, let's go for it?
Yeah, look, I mean, you're always on the go. You're always looking for ways to improve. And, he'll ask my opinion. I'll give him some feedback. And, yeah, I mean, every day conversations like that happen. So that's a good feeling.
It's obvious. The one thing that you've had to work a lot on this year is your bullpen, Carlos. You've, moved guys in and out. There's been guys who are here for a day, guys who've been used a lot. Reed Garrett, who'd been so good for you, is on the injured list now. Can you address just your bullpen and how important it would be to add to it between now and 6 p.m. on July 30th?
Yeah, look, guys will step up. Not a secret. They've been through a rough stretch here, and they're feeling it, whether it's because of where we at on the schedule, playing so many games in a row, playing a men's shore for 10 days, all of those things add to it. But, we keep shuffling guys back and forth from AAA, and I think that depth piece is important. And I feel like David and his group's done a really good job of keep providing those type of arms from AAA. And look, we got a guy like Budo who's been starting pitching the pitcher the whole year, and now he's contributing out of the bullpen. We got Edwin Diaz back. Obviously, we lost Rick Garrett, a huge part of our bullpen. But guys like Dickman, guys like Aravino, they will step up. They've done it for a long time in this league, and I know that they're going to come through, and guys will continue to step up. We'll continue to give the balls to guys like Nunez. Obviously, we acquired Maton the other day, and then we'll continue to piece it together. So I feel good with where we at bullpen-wise, and pretty confident that they'll get through it.
You mentioned Edwin Diaz is back. He was the guy who was missing for 10 days while you were playing one guy short because he was on a suspension for the sticky stuff. Is he back? Who is Edwin Diaz?
Yeah, he's back, man. I feel like after he went down with the injury, then he got back, and we showed some conviction. He showed some conviction. We saw it with the way he was throwing the baseball, attacking hitters. And then the past couple of outings, we've seen that as well, attacking hitters with the fastball, putting hitters away with the breaking ball. I like where he's at physically, mentally, and that's a good feeling when you have that guy ready to go in the ninth.
Well, Carlos, you'd be commended for the job you did, and then also dealing with Joel on a daily basis. I know what that's like. That's good. Hey, Carlos, congratulations on the success. Again, you guys have battled back to get to where you are, and best of luck the rest of the way. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.